Hi there. One of the ways to be great at anything is to copiously consume the literature of the top 5 greatest people in that area. And I'll give you 3 examples. There's a man called Jason Taylor. Eventually became a very successful rapper, selling over 20 million copies. And I'll tell you his story. He applied the same principle. He was a gangbanger. He belonged to a gang called the Los Angeles Crips, and he was shot 5 times, almost died. And his brother said, enough of gangbanging. Choose a more noble profession, become a rapper. And you know what his brother did? His brother bought him the classic albums, hip-hop albums, and told him, listen to this, study it, learn from these classic rappers, these great rappers, and then craft and build a pattern for yourself. So his brother bought him classic albums like Illmatic from Nas, Reasonable Doubt by Jay-Z, All Eyes on Me by Tupac, Life After Death by Notorious B.I.G., Doggy Style by Snoop Dogg, Chronic by Dr. Dre, Coming Out Hard by 8ball and MJG, classic albums. And he just went and listened to those albums and listened to them. See, he was listening to the best in the business that had ever done it. Listen to me. Do you want to be a great interviewer? Ask yourself, who are the 5 greatest interviewers of the last 100 years? You come up with names like Larry King, Howard Stern, Christian Amanpour, Steven Sacco, Riz Khan. You come up with names like Barbara Walters. If you now say, okay, I'm going to listen to the top 100 interviews Larry King has done, top 100 interviews that Barbara Walters have done. Barbara Walters was so great that interviewers will say, how come you know that detail about me? How come you know these facts? Because she said, I studied people to get even information that they did not know about themselves. And whenever she interview people, she will say, oh, that's an amazing question. That's a beautiful question. That's a great question. That's a great question. She copiously studied. So you can say, okay, I'm going to study Barbara Walters' best 100 interviews. I'm going to do the same thing for Steven Sacco at BBC, Christian Amanpour at CNN. I'm going to do the same thing for Riz Khan at Al Jazeera and study these people. Guess what? By the time you study 100 of the best interviews from 5 of the best interviewers, you have studied 500 of the best interviews. Guess what? You will never remain the same. Your life can never remain the same. Let's say you want to become a great boxer, and that was what Mike Tyson did. Mike Tyson wanted to become the greatest knockout puncher of all time. What did he do? He studied the greatest knockout matches of all time, 200 of them, copiously watching it one after the other, copiously watching it. Because let me tell you something, greatness is contagious. Greatness is infectious. When you do so, you will learn. Look at, and that was the principle that Gaddafi adopted. Gaddafi wanted to become a leader in Libya. What did he do? One of the greatest leaders in the Arab world that time was Al-Nasser, president of Egypt. And he would just listen to Al-Nasser every day, every morning. Listen to Al-Nasser, listen to Al-Nasser, listen to Al-Nasser. And then he was able to imbibe a playbook, a formula, a model, and apply that playbook. Led his nation for 40 years. Very few people have led their nations for as long as that. Why? Because he applied that principle, copiously consuming the literature, material, and content of the best people in that area. That was what he did. So let's assume that you want to be a great event planner. You should be studying people like Christine Banter. You want to be a great interior designer. You should be studying people like Kelly Wessler. You want to be a great makeup artist. You should be studying people like Bobby Brown, Pat McGrath. You should be studying these people, copiously studying them to a fault. Studying them to a fault. And that's how people become great at what they do. They want to become a great public speaker. You should ask yourself, first of all, who are the top 5 public speakers in the world? You come up with names like Carmen Gallo, David J.P. Phillips. They are the greatest teachers in public speaking, or the greatest authorities in public speaking. And if you do this, you find out that you end up being a great public speaker because you are copiously consuming their content, their literature, their books, their videos, and all that. I hope this works well for you. Do have an amazing day, and bye for now. Hi there. I want to do this documentary on 50 of the most brilliant business ideas I have ever studied. 50 of the most brilliant business ideas I've ever studied. I want to start with number 50. At number 50 is the idea that made Fox News one of the highest rated news channels in the world. It starts with a man called Roger Ailes. Roger Ailes discovered that if you repeat the news every 15 minutes, it will make it more interesting. Just take the major points in the news at any time and repeat it every 15 minutes and update it every 15 minutes. Repeat and update every 15 minutes. Fox News was the first news channel to repeat the news every 15 minutes. Before that time, you had maybe 10 o'clock news, 9 o'clock news, or every 2 hours or every hour, But he started by repeating the news every 15 minutes. And guess what? Something happened. When September 11 happened, 2001, everybody wanted to know what was happening every 15 minutes or at the second. And that was when Fox News overtook CNN as the number 1 news channel in the world. One brilliant idea. Repeating the news every 15 minutes. So I want you to ask yourself, what is that problem in that area of business that I am in that I can change? Roger Ailes saw a gap that the news was not being repeated recurrently, intermittently. It was not being replayed intermittently, and he filled that gap. And today, the rest is history. The second thing that Roger Ailes did was that Roger Ailes decided, let us be the mouthpiece of the Republican president or the Republican Party. Let us have a bias. Let us have a Republican bias. And guess what? It worked. Did you hear what George H.W. Bush said? When Roger Ailes died, H.W. Bush said, I would never have been president without him. I would never have been president without him. So that's number 50 of the greatest ideas I have ever studied. I hope that works well for you. I'll go to number 49. Discuss one more beautiful idea. God bless you. To have an amazing day, and bye for now. Hi there. So number 49 is the story of Curtis 50 Cent Jackson, one of the most successful rappers of all time. He's sold over 50 million records, and the story of this man is compelling because this is a man who was shot 9 times, who was dropped by his record label at that time, Columbia Records, who was left for dead but survived it, and has a never say die attitude, and decided to take his life back up and resuscitate his career. The brilliant thing that he did was this: he decided that whenever there was a very hot song, a very popular song, he would take the beat of that song and create a song on it. So he started doing mixtapes. And so because he was creating songs on the popular songs of that time, they became very popular. After a while, major rappers got to know about him. He started to go straight for rappers like Puff Daddy. He got the attention of Marshall Mathers, also known as Eminem, who was one of the largest selling rappers at that time. And the rest is history. His first album, Get Rich or Die Trying, sold 13 million records. 13 million records. He went diamond. And the rest is history. Second album sold 10 million again. So it's a brilliant idea. So ask yourself, can I hop on trends? I call it trend hopping on trends. Is there any trend that is moving that I can hop on, and all that? But that's a brilliant idea. Next up will be idea number 48. I hope this works well for you. Do have an amazing day, and bye for now. Alright, the 48th idea is the idea that brought CNN to limelight. Before CNN, you had major channels like ABC, NBC, CBS. So ABC had amazing people like Barbara Walters. Come on. NBC had Bill Cosby Show. CBS had Walter Cronkite. Who the CNN had nothing, but they had a genius called Ted Turner. And he said, okay, we're going to be the first 24-hour news network. And those days, for those of us who grew up in the 80s, those days you had to wait until 4 o'clock to watch TV. TV opened at 4 o'clock, But CNN just disrupted the whole environment, and it became a 24-hour news channel. And then something happened. John Lennon was shot in 1980, and everybody wanted to know up to date what was happening. And that was how CNN became shot to limelight, and the rest is history. So that brilliant idea from Ted Turner and CNN fills the number 48 spot, and next up will be idea number 47. I hope this works well for you. Do have an amazing day, and bye for now. Hi there. The 47th brilliant idea is the idea that brought to limelight the company called Warby Parker, the iFrame company. So let me tell you this story. So the founder, one of the co-founders, wanted to get a frame, and the prescription frame was so expensive, about $1,000 or something. And he said, why should prescription frame be so expensive? I mean, the same amount as an iPhone. And he came up with this business idea. Let me go into frames and I'll make prescription frame more affordable. He went to his university lecturer. He was doing an MBA at that time, and he tailored the idea like, I want to do frames for $100 or less. His university lecturer said, if you do it for $100 or less, people will think it is substandard. Do it for $200. And he did it. Today, Warby Parker is a $2 billion company. Because he saw a problem. You see, business is all about solving problems. You see, look out for problems. He saw that these frames were too expensive. Then the second brilliant idea is that Warby Parker didn't just say we'll do frames. We'll give you 5 different colors, 7 different colors. Try it, and then you can return them back. Pick the one you like and return them back, which was unheard of at that time. Unheard of at that time. And today, the rest is history. Warby Parker is an amazing company, great company. So that's idea number 47. Next up will be idea 46. I hope this works well for you. Do have an amazing day, and bye for now. All right. Idea number 46. What a beautiful idea. I heard Larry Izamoje share this idea at the Daystar Excellence in Leadership Conference in 2007 or 2008. Either 2008 or 2009, I'm not sure, but so Larry Izamoje is a media tycoon in Nigeria where I live, and sports journalist, legendary. And share this idea. Please listen to this idea. This idea is powerful. Of a man who sold plastic bags and built a house selling plastic bags, but it was his brilliance. It was his brilliance that amazes me, and that's why I want to share this idea. So now I'm talking about this idea was executed in the 80s, I guess, because at that time we didn't have ATM machines, we didn't have fintech as we have it today. So if you wanted to buy anything, you had to pay with cash. It was more of a cash society rather than cashless society at that time. We're talking about the 80s. And we had banks in Nigeria like First Bank, Union Bank, UBA, Savannah Bank, Societe Generale Bank, all those kind of banks, AfriBank, so people went to banks to withdraw money. And we saw a problem. When we withdrew money in banks, they gave you a brown envelope. But the problem with the brown envelope was that it was a security concern. It made you a security victim because you could be robbed. So you know what this guy did? The guy said, I'm going to start selling Ghana Must Go bags, these plastic bags. I'm going to start selling Ghana Must Go bag outside banks. And guess what? The genius of this guy was that I'm going to get beautiful ladies to sell these bags. So imagine, let's assume that there are 100 banks in Lagos. Let's just assume there are more than 100 banks, of course, 100 banks in Lagos. And he sells 50 in each branch. So which means that he's selling 500 bags every day. Now let's assume that there are 1,000. He's selling 5,000 bags every day. Let's assume that his profit alone is 10 naira. That means he's making 50,000 naira every day. As at 1980, when a dollar was about 10 naira or less. That was how this man's turnover went off the roof and he became wealthy selling Ghana Must. But it was how he did it. So ask yourself, where should I do it? When should I do it? How should I do it? The way was outside banks. The second thing was that he got beautiful ladies. There's some beautiful ladies that even if you don't feel like buying a bag, you buy the bag when you see them selling it. A very smart guy. So that's a brilliant idea. I hope it works well for you. Ask yourself this question: when, where, how, and with who? Amazing questions when it comes to marketing and selling business. Where, when, how, and with who? God bless you. Do have an amazing day, and bye for now. Hi there. So the next idea is the idea of Shake Shack, idea number 45. Shake Shack is one of the thriving restaurants in America, but it's the brilliance of Danny Meyer, the founder. Danny Meyer saw a gap. He saw that you had fine dining restaurants or quick service restaurants. There was no in between. So there was no fine dining, there was no smart dining restaurant. It's just like casual wear and formal wear. The in between will be smart casual. So he said, okay, I'm going to create a hybrid restaurant so that it's not a quick service restaurant like McDonald's. It's not as cheap as McDonald's, and it's yet not a fine dining restaurant. It's just something in between. So he created Shake Shack. Second, he said our burgers are going to melt in your mouth. It's going to be softer. It's going to be juicier. Something unique. And today the rest is history. Shake Shack is $1 billion corporation, and that's why it makes now number 45 of most brilliant business ideas that I have ever studied. I hope it works well for you. I hope that you live from it. God bless you. Do have an amazing day. And watch out for number 34. It's going to interest you. Number 44 is going to interest you. Bye for now. Hi. Alright, so I'm profiling the 50 most brilliant business ideas I have ever studied or come across. At number 44 is the idea of the Immersion Bible. Oh my word, Immersion Bible. So I saw a gap. I saw that most Bibles were too serious. They were too formal. I wanted something a little bit relaxed. A Bible that people could relax to, could relate to. I wanted a Bible that had the feel of a magazine. So it's not a book, it's not a newspaper, but it's something in between. Not a Bible that is like a newspaper, not a Bible that is like a textbook, but a Bible that is like a magazine. So I created the Immersion Bible. And see, we look at the Immersion Bible, it's like a magazine. So you have sidebars here like Unforgettable Faith Stories or Kobe Bryant. I'm talking about how Kobe Bryant practiced some principles that are biblical. You have Unforgettable Faith Stories like Abraham Lincoln, how Abraham Lincoln practiced principles. So a lot of us can't relate to Moses, Joshua, because we never met this way, but we can relate to Kobe Bryant, we can relate to Abraham Lincoln, we can relate to Donald Trump, we can relate to Rihanna, we can relate to people like that. We know these people have lived in their generation. So that's what makes the Immersion Bible kind of very unique. And then there are unforgettable stories of our pastors. Like this is Unforgettable Faith Stories, Kenneth Hagin, people who practice Christianity, who rose to the echelon of Christianity. It's a more colorful Bible than most Bibles, with diagrams and all that. It feels like a magazine. It feels like a magazine. Yeah, you feel like that magazine feel. And then guess what? In the Immersion Bible, you have memory verses on reprogramming the subconscious, memory verses on emotional intelligence, memory verses, what the Bible says about left-handed people, what the Bible says about birthday celebrations, what the Bible says about introverts, what the Bible says about extroverts. It's just an amazing, unique Bible that you don't find anywhere, and that's why it makes number 44th idea of the most brilliant ideas I've ever heard, I've ever studied or come across. Take these ideas, into whatever you're doing to help you out. God bless you. Do have an amazing day. Up next is idea number 43. God bless you. Bye for now. Hi there. Okay, so number 43 of the 50 best ideas I have ever come across. And this goes to no other than Tyra Banks, an amazing lady, supermodel, and then she crossed over to entrepreneurship. And what happened? One day she woke up watching TV and she was watching American Idol. American Idol is a reality show for singers. And she thought to herself, if there's a reality show for singers, why can't there be a reality show for American models or models? And that was how America's Next Top Model was born. It went on to have many seasons, raked her multi-millions in dollars, and the rest is history. So innovation is just simple. You can do a lot of adaptation. Okay, if I have a smartphone, why can't I have smart clothes? If I have a smartphone, why can't I have a smart gun? Yeah, there's a smart gun now that if I'm not the owner of the gun, it won't go off. Oh, of course, you have smart home, smart everything. So it's just adaptation. Ideas are really contagious and easy to conceive if you have put yourself in the right position. All right, so that goes to Tyra Banks. Up next is idea number 42. God bless you. Do have an amazing day and bye for now. Hi there. So idea number 42 of the 50 best ideas I have ever come across will be no other than one of my favorite pastors, Pastor George Izunwa, senior pastor of Gateway International Church, based in Nigeria, Rivers State to be specific. And the reason why I love this idea was that he conceived it out of nothing. He was going to hold a particular service in his church, a service for couples, a couples service, and there was no money to fund this event. That was when he was just starting. But he said he had a brilliant idea, and he said, oh, you know what? We're going to have a cooking competition. Every woman cook, and then you are going to serve a table, and then we will find out who the winner is. And guess what? He said he invites people. So he was able to get people and he was able to get the funding. So he didn't have to pay for food and he didn't have to pay for advertisements. And guess what? It became a success and they continued to repeat it. Today, Gateway International Church is one of the fastest growing churches in Nigeria. And for that, George Izunwa, I love you. Brilliant man, brilliant pastor. Apart from I listen to his sermons, he's just a very brilliant person. Somebody who I really respect. And that's why he occupies number 42nd position. Up next will be idea number 41 of the 50 brilliant ideas I have ever heard. God bless you. Do have an amazing day and bye for now. Right, at number 41 is no other than the idea that brought Stanford University to limelight. So let me just chronicle the history of Stanford University. Stanford University came out at a time where education for ladies were not a priority. In fact, I remember being in a meeting with Richard Kramer, who's late now. He brought Arthur Anderson to Nigeria. Richard Kramer went to Harvard University in the 50s and he said Harvard Business School didn't have women in the 50s. So Harvard University at a time where education for women was not a priority, education for Indians and non-Americans was not a priority. So what Stanford did was that they began to embrace women coming into universities, embrace Indians and other non-indigens coming into university. And that was how they created their unique selling point and it stood out. And today, Stanford University has created multiple Nobel Prize winners, Kelly McGonigal, amazing thought leaders, amazing futurists and iconoclasts. So many great people have come out of Stanford University, BJ Fogg, the list goes on and on, Steve Jobs, a lot of Silicon Valley unicorns. It's a university that needs no introduction, but their idea and their unique selling points is very compelling. And for that, they occupy the number 41st position. Up next will be number 40. God bless you. Do have an amazing day and bye for now. Hi there. At number 40 is one of my favorite pastors of all time. Reverend Sam Adeyemi is a pastor of Vista Christian Center based in Nigeria. One of the best pastors, one of the best leaders I have ever known, studied, chronicled, observed. By far, he stands taller than his peers by far. And so this idea is the idea he came up with, an idea for an entrepreneurship service. That time, it was not common in church for entrepreneurship service. What? Because at that time, unemployment was a major issue in Nigeria. And you had people who go to churches in need of jobs, praying to God, oh God, give me a job, give me a job. And just done differently that instead of give me a job, why can't I show these people how to build a business and start a business? Let them create the jobs, let them be the solution, let them be the salt of the earth, the light of the world, a city set on a hill that cannot be hid. And so he came up with this curriculum and he started teaching first service every Sunday for about 1 hour. We'll teach on entrepreneurial principles, marketing, branding, coming up with your product, mentorship. God bless this man. I love this man so much. Just an amazing leader, an amazing leader. A brilliant idea, and it opened up the whole church space. Even if they didn't do an entrepreneurship service, even if they didn't call it an entrepreneurship service, a lot of churches started doing programs to equip entrepreneurs. Some churches started having microfinance banks and institutions. They started providing capital. It was his idea. idea, that gave birth to this whole culture, that has been a blessing to so many businessmen, so many churchgoers and Christians in Nigeria and even beyond. So for that, God bless Sam Adeyemi. We love you so much at this organization. And that's the 40th business idea. Up next will be number 39. God bless you. Do have an amazing day and bye for now. All right. Number 39 of the 50 most brilliant ideas I have come across is the idea of the Indian video streaming giant Hotstar. Now, this company beat Netflix to conquer the Indian market, and just based on their brilliance, and they asked just two questions. The questions were, what do Indians love? What do Indians love? And they came up with two answers: cricket and Bollywood. They bought the cricket rights and they bought the Bollywood rights. With that, they conquered the entire market. And today, Netflix is a dwarf in India compared to Hotstar. And for that, is one of the most brilliant ideas I have ever come across. And it occupies number 39th position. Up next is position number 38. God bless you. Do have an amazing day and bye for now.